Hello,
Happy
hello.
Sunday,
We are
everyone. Yes,
live.
hello, hello, hello.
We made it.
We are
We
live, live,
made it.
live.
We are live once again. This is
Again,
another episode of Mama Said It.
I said once again, yes,
Another
another episode.
episode of Mama Said It.
Yeah.
This is going to be a very interesting week coming up. I'm looking forward to it. However, hey, it's episode 23.
Yes, 23.
Yes, we're moving on up the ladder.
Jordan.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
Jordan.
yes.
Jordan,
23.
that's my one of my favorite numbers actually from my grandmother. Because my grandmother used to live at 23 Watson Street.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yes.
I know that was your grandmother's favorite number, and I know I use the number a lot. But I never knew where it came from. So.
Yeah, 23 Watson Street. My grandmother lived in Buffalo, New York. And
Mhm.
we ended up moving up to Buffalo, New York back in the 70s. So
Okay.
got a lot of family and friends in Buffalo. Shout out to
Mhm.
Buffalo. And that's where number 23 comes from. And it also comes from Michael Jordan. So it's a good number.
Oh, good number.
Number.
Yes.
Thanks for joining, Linda. Thank you so much for
Yes.
joining. Thank you. Thank
Hi.
you. Thank you. Please share this video so that we can invite more guests to
Yes.
join us to be a part of this live. We have some phenomenal topics. Topics
Yes.
that, once again, this is not intentional. This just happens that me and my daughter, we are at odds again. We
We at
try
it
to
again, y'all.
pick topics that we can agree on, but it just seems like
It
lately
don't. Yeah, it don't land
has
that way.
not been going that way. So it is what it is,
Yes.
right? I do want to say that there was a tragic accident that happened in Houston, Texas yesterday, where there was a former NFL cornerback, DJ Hayton, passed away,
Oh wow.
and five others who also lost their lives to a fatal car accident. So we want to send some prayers and condolences to the family
Yes, absolutely.
because during this approaching this holiday season, we all have to be very careful as we are driving, even when it's
Yes.
not a holiday. We definitely want to be careful when we're driving.
Yes, absolutely.
Want to be careful. How are you doing today, Shakira?
I am doing pretty good. No complaints.
No
I
complaints.
got to do a little running around this morning, and I took one child because I'm only if I have to take both, then I'll take both. But I try to just take one. So I took
Okay,
Evan with
okay.
me along on a little adventure. We went to
Oh,
Wally World, which I hate. Um,
Wally World.
Walmart.
Oh, wait a minute. What? They changed their name too?
No, 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 no. It's just some people that I know that works at Walmart, that's what they call it. Well, that's what they called it before, Wally World. Um,
Oh, that's what you call it, Wally World.
yes, yes. And other people that I know that used to work there call it Wally World. That's where I got that
Oh,
terminology from, but I do not like Walmart.
you don't
Um,
like Walmart?
no, it's giving very, you know what? Let me rephrase that. I do not like Walmart in the location that I'm located at. Okay.
But you're
I
in a good
will.
location, so
Yeah, it's not. Listen, it's not wrong with my location. I'm just saying, I feel as though when you go to certain areas where there may be a Walmart, it's set up
okay.
differently. They have cashiers there. Um, there's more than just two lines open. Just stuff that should be going on a regular basis. But I don't like Wally World, but unfortunately, well, I guess fortunately, they do have things that are more reasonable than Target because that's my spot. I love Target. That is my jam. Okay, I love
So
me
I'm
some
assuming
Target.
Target is Target.
Yes, Target.
Okay, got
Yes,
it.
Target. That's my jam. But in any event, you know me, I'm always looking for a cheaper deal. Well, you don't like me to say cheap. You like me to say reasonable. She
Yes.
hate me saying the word cheap. I'm like,
Yeah.
when we used to be out, and I'm like, my it's cheaper over here. She's like,
Oh. Mm.
yes. So But we went out and we went to ShopRite and I tried to tire him out and I did. It was successful.
Okay.
By the time we got home, he was asleep. So
Oh, it worked, huh?
it worked. Yes. Tire
It
him out.
worked. Was
Yes.
that your intention to tire him out?
Absolutely. Yes. That's always the intention. If he's going out on an outing, when we get back, you best be asleep. That's the goal.
Okay. All right. So at least
Yes.
it worked. At
It did
least it
work.
worked.
Yes,
Yes.
some occasions it does not work. But it did work this time, yes. Miss
That's
Linda
good.
said LeBron James too, I think, meaning the number. I think he does wear 23. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me, but I think he does.
Who?
LeBron James.
Oh, LeBron James is 23?
I think he wears 23 as well. I think. I'm not sure.
Oh,
But I think he does. I think.
really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, I
And Miss
know.
Linda said she also said prayers and condolences to all of the family, which what we were just talking about, the car accident, which is very tragic. And she also
Yes.
said the one in Mount Laurel is really nice. Yes, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like even down to Tarjay, right? I live in a really good area. Like it's not like it's a bad area whatsoever. I go to the Tarjay of my choice that is located near me. I like it. But then when you go to Tarjay in Marlton or
Okay.
Mount Laurel, it's totally it got to do. It just the air smells different. Okay, like it just it just has different vibes. I mean, anybody else want to chime in? They can if they've been to more than one
No, I'm gonna tell you
Walmart.
one. I'm gonna tell you one that I think that is completely. Now they probably restructured, rebuild, hopefully
Mhm.
have new management. But there's one in North Jersey on Route One that is
Oh my
absolutely,
goodness,
that one there is, I'm gonna just say it, it's like a zoo.
it
It
is.
was. Now I don't know. I
Yes,
haven't been in there in years,
yes.
so I can't say what my experience would be if I would go in there now. It may be
Now,
totally
yes.
different because a lot of places are restructuring, reorganizing, and
Mhm.
rebuilding. So
Yes.
they may have rebuilt it to a super because it was very small. It was one of the smaller
Okay.
Walmart.
Yeah, yeah. Most of them went to supers, so I can see that happening. Definitely.
Yeah, so they might have went to super. So if they went to super, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. But that one, woo, child, that one just it definitely needed to improve.
Yes.
Linda says prayers and condolences. Okay, the one I see Mount Laura is really nice. Yes, well, definitely. Ron is 23 too. What? Wow, two great players. That's awesome. I didn't even know that. I learned something new today. Thanks for sharing that, Linda. I didn't even
Yes.
know
Absolutely.
that LeBron and Shakira, your screen is black.
Uh-oh.
But
Okay.
I did not know that LeBron James is also 23. So shout out to 23 and 23. 23
Okay.
and 23. Okay, so
I'm back.
we're back
Okay.
on. Oh, we
Wait,
got
it's two of me. Okay, there I go. Sorry, I went to Facebook to make sure that I was on, like live. Sorry, you
okay,
guys.
no problem.
Yeah.
No
Miss Linda
problem.
said the North Brunswick is terrible. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, she
You
knows. She
I hate to
knows.
say this because I don't like to but you ever heard the clip it when Nene be like the ghetto, like she's screaming it. Like I forgot where she was at, but she was talking about the ghetto. And it was just like, but everybody keeps reusing her clip, and it's when they're going into Walmart, or either Walmart or either not Dollar General, Family Dollar, because that Family Dollars be a mess, okay? They always
Yeah.
stocking stuff be everywhere. It's just, so yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well, I want to start this topic off with something that's really, really positive because I think it's so, so good to hear that someone is doing something and not really looking for accolades and awards and
Hmm.
recognition. And that is Nelly. He sent kids to college for 10 years and still counting without much recognition. Hardly
Yes.
nobody was talking about it until like recently, but he's been doing it for 10 years. I think
Hmm.
that's phenomenal.
It is. It
We don't know
is.
who
It's
the
great.
kids are, the recipients, but we want to say shout out to Nelly for doing a phenomenal job and may others fall in suit and do the
Yes.
same because there's nothing more valuable than a child trying to pursue their education. So I'm all for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, I'm all for that. Now, I do want to say, that this week have been quite interesting because we've had you know, Nelly and Ashanti
Ashanti, yeah.
in the limelight.
Yes.
And it
Constantly.
has been, huh?
Constantly. They're everywhere.
Constantly they're everywhere. And I think it's great. But I mean, what do you think about dating your ex?
No. That's a no for me. Um yeah, I'm not going backwards.
Huh?
Uh yeah, I'm not going backwards. I like okay, of course I'm married now, so of course it's past tense stuff, and me as a person, when I'm dating someone, when I'm with someone, I'm giving you my all. And
Right.
then some. Once it's
Yeah.
over, see ya. Like we're not about to be go. Now I could be cool. We can be cool. We can be cordial. That type of thing. But if I was in an actual relationship with you and it did not work out, it did not work out for a reason, and that's fine. You just wasn't my person, and I found my
Right.
person. Thank you, Jesus. But yeah, that's just I'm not going back and forth. No,
So in other words, you don't want to, of course you're married, so you wouldn't count.
no, I don't
Yeah,
fight. I
we ain't
don't
counting
stop.
you.
Yeah, I don't count. I'm out of this equation. But I'm just saying,
Yes.
in my past, I do not. No, I
Yeah.
mean I can be cool. We can, hey,
Right.
but that's as far as that.
Well, for
No,
me, I'm gonna say,
yeah. But I don't. I understand when people do. I won't say I understand it because I never did it, but I don't fault people for it because I mean, it's their relationship. Who cares? Why are you in their business?
all right.
Why are you so invested? Because a lot of people are very very upset that they are still together. I mean that they got back together.
Yeah, but I think it's
And
phenomenal. I think it's,
I like
I
listen,
love it.
you can see his tonsils as hard as he smiled every time he's with Ashanti.
Yeah.
Now, with old girl, now don't get me wrong, his ex-girlfriend, whatever her name was, I don't remember. Sorry, young lady, you were very pretty. But he was never smiling in those pictures. And they pulled up several pictures and he was never smiling.
I know. I
Now,
noticed that. Yeah, you can Google that, and it'll pop right
yes.
up that he was not filed,
No,
smiling.
not
Now,
just
could it been that all those years he was not feeling fulfilled? He wasn't feeling whole. I mean, because the woman that he was with, his ex, besides Ashante, she's beautiful too.
yeah, she's very pretty. Not for nothing because we don't know these people personally. They're pretty, but
I
I don't
know
know who
Ashante
she
in my
is.
head.
But as far as like their personality, we see what they portray on TV. But these people could be psychos, as far as we know. I don't know. But what I do
No,
know is that he's smiling like a Chester cat, like he just hit the lottery every time. He is
he
so
did hit the
elated.
lottery.
He is so elated, and I feel
Yeah,
as though that I can say for myself that I everybody comes into your life for a season and for a reason. So
yeah.
he spent the block, and what happened was I don't know if you remember, but it was they did verses, and it was Ja Rule. No, it wasn't Ja Rule. I forgot who it was. It Ja Rule and somebody, whoever it was. Nelly came out and Ashanti had came out. It was Ja Rule against somebody, I think. I can't really remember off the top of my head. If somebody want to chime in, you
It
can.
was like a battle.
Yeah, the verses. Remember like during the pandemic, it was a whole bunch of verses that was going on. Like it was SWV versus
Right.
Escape, and that's
Yes.
how their tour kicked off, and all these different people. So they had a verses, and she came out, honey, and I mean Ashanti looked like she just dropped her first album. She don't
She looks
look
great. She
she
looks
looks
great.
phenomenal. You know what I'm
She
saying?
looks
So
great.
she came out and he was googly eye and looking
Now,
and
was they together then?
no, mm,
So
no.
he was paying attention.
He was you can tell by them pictures. He's like, that's what it because you see of course you see her pictures and all of that, but I guess when he seen it in person, like, oh, and he
Yeah.
probably slid in her DM and said, hey, big
And you know
head.
what, Linda, that's a nice song. I love that song by Shalimar. I mean, Shalimar, y'all get back together. We want a reunion. Oh my goodness. Come on, Jody Watley. Come on, y'all. Um, Howard, come on. I would love to hear y'all do a comeback. Now that would be a sellout. If Shalimar got back together and did a reunion and did a tour, man, it would be a sellout.
This is before my time.
Yes, it's before your time.
I don't know
But
who
they
this
had a song called Second Time Around. Yeah, I can't sing too much because I may get charged. But
is.
anyway, but that song was song was a bomb, Linda. That's a good point. Second time around. But you
Oh,
know what?
yeah.
For me, I'm gonna say this, and this is no shade. When I'm in a relationship, I give it my all. My heart is in it, my soul is in it, and I try to do everything I can to try to make it work. I'm gonna try to play my part. However, if it doesn't work out, I always wish all my exes the best.
Hmm.
Period. I'm wishing the best.
Yeah, of
But in my
course.
mind, I'm thinking there's no way we could get back together because I would be thinking it's the same thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
some of the
I feel like
same
if you
things.
do,
So
I feel like if you do take a person back and you genuinely wholeheartedly forgive them or whatever, and a lot of times people was thinking that, I mean, now don't get me wrong, I this is speculations, I don't know. But all the things were coming up like why did they break up in the first place? People are saying, I don't know, okay, but this is allegedly. They were saying
allegedly,
that Nelly had did an interview and Ashanti did an interview. Ashanti's interview said that, they had because they've been together, they was together for 11 years.
yeah, that's
And
nice.
so she was saying that, yeah, I think we're going to get married, like wedding bells should be soon. So his interview was like, I'm married to my career.
For
So
my
she
career, yeah.
said, see ya. Like, and that's
Oh, so and
what
that's she broke up with him.
I don't know if she broke up with him or who broke up with who, but from my what I read is that they shortly broke up after those interviews.
Yeah,
It was just like, so we're not even on the same page. I'm out here, and you
hoping
out
and
here,
praying
and
that
we
you're gonna be my husband, and you out here
ex-
talking about you married to your career. Yeah,
exactly. So and I feel like everybody comes into your life at a certain time, and
right,
they do sometimes they leave lasting impressions, and she obviously and he obviously left a lasting impression on both parts.
right. Yep,
Because everybody's saying,
obviously.
I don't know why she took him back. Well, he took her back too.
Yeah, they took
They're
each
both
other back.
agreeing to be together. Like it's not just
Yeah,
like, so
I
I mean,
really think
I don't have no problem with it. Like, love is love. Power to the people.
I love their love.
Yes, it's so cute. They're so, just bubbly. But then, they're older now. You get what I'm saying? Like they were
More
younger,
mature,
more mature. Their
wiser.
career has taken its role on whatever way they were going. They solidified their careers. So it's just I don't see nothing
Yeah,
wrong with it. But people are very upset. And I'm just like,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they are very upset,
Yes.
unfortunately. But for them, I'm so happy. For those that are mad
Yes.
and upset, y'all go ahead and get y'all boo so y'all can be happy. In the meantime, we is sending some positive energy out to Ashante and Nelly saying good luck. May God bless you and may you continue to be united forever. May that love last forever, right?
Yeah, I think he gonna marry her this time around. I don't think it's gonna be no 11. She ain't waiting no 11 years. I can tell. I can bet my bottom dollar that.
You know what? If she
I
don't
don't
wait.
think because that's another thing. Um, just my opinion. I've always been told when a man wants you, he wants you, and he's gonna let it be known, and he is not going to play around
Yep.
about you. So when you see now, okay, you do have relationships, they've been together 10, 15 years, 20 years, they're not married, but they mutually agree on that. That's
Yeah.
different. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the woman is over here looking at wedding gowns and all that other type stuff, and the guy like, nah, I ain't ready. I ain't ready. It's been 10 years. I ain't ready. I ain't ready. Well, sir, I'm gonna go left.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I feel
That's
as though
another
that
thing, we need to talk about later. But, when you be in a relationship for 10, 20 years and he ain't married you, now look, let me just say this. It's not necessarily a bad thing because all women and men don't want to be married
no,
and
no,
being
it's not for
together.
everybody. Everybody
It's
don't want
not
to
for
do it. It's
everybody.
fine.
You know what I'm saying? But if you want to be married, if you're in a relationship and you're wanting to be married, you need to make that be known and put some sort of standards to it that I'm going to be married within 2, 3 years. And if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. We need to move on to
Yeah,
find someone that's going to be compatible. Not
yeah.
stay in a relationship that's not going to work. That's not good. That's not
No.
healthy.
Mm-mm.
Imagine being with someone for 20, 30 years and you find out you don't
You
waste
don't
a
want to be
whole
with them
year.
no more. Like, and that happens too. No,
Yeah,
it is
all
what
the
it is.
time.
But as far as just make sure you're on the same page. Okay. Don't be Ashanti and Nelly in interviews saying two different things. Okay. Make sure y'all saying the same thing. That's all that would be my conclusion on that part.
Yeah. But thank goodness between those 10 years that they were separated, however many years it was that they were separated, they got wiser. And each one of them had to realize how they missed each other and
Oh
what they
yeah.
missed.
Yeah.
Because it makes the heart grow fonder, obviously. So, but I'm telling you, I'm loving seeing somebody gonna pick them up and do a reality show. It's just
I
gotta
would love to
come.
see because I follow them. I follow them both individually, and they'll be on their lives both at the same time to see who got more followers. That's going to come in. It's always Ashanti. Sorry, Nelly. It's
Right.
always Ashanti. Okay, she always has a lot more followers than him, but they're like laughing because they're on each other. It's just so cute. Like I would love to
It's
see it happen,
cute.
but. Then again, I would not want to see it only because I feel like when you put people, it's bad enough they're in the limelight, right? So we're going to be watching them like a hawk, right? That's what people are going to do. But when you open your doors to reality TV, sometimes relationships are ruined.
But
And
that's
there's
only because if you don't have an understanding. If
no,
you
no,
go
no, no,
in,
no. I don't
no, if
believe
you
that.
go in with
No,
an understanding,
no,
boo boo, we gonna
no.
get this money.
No,
We
see, and
gonna get this
that's the
paper.
difference. Everybody don't think of money as their top priority. When you're in a relationship and you're freshly back into a relationship, you should not be putting all of it, like maybe you should reserve some stuff. Do not do no reality TV. Make your relationship strong and
Sure.
then do something. Don't do
Right.
it at the beginning. And that's
Yeah.
that's that's how I feel about that.
I
Um
agree. Yeah.
so
Give it some
if
time
if
because
they
you're
make
freshly back
yeah.
together. Yeah.
Absolutely, because next thing you know, because you know how realities, they edit stuff, they do this, they do that, they set up scenes, in my opinion. So Nelly might be talking to a fan, and it's just they can make it because they want to make ratings. They don't care
Yeah.
about your relationship.
Yeah.
So I
It's all
advise you
about the
to stay on.
coins. It's about the
Yes.
coins. But speaking of relationships, I need to know something. Women dating versus men dating, double standards. Now,
Mhm.
when women date and she may not, she's single, she's wanting to mingle, she just want to find out, who's out there for her, not
Mhm.
necessarily sleeping with someone, but she may go to dinner with various people, various men,
Okay.
and she's titled a whore. But then the man, he goes out and date
Spreads his royal oak.
and he's a stud. Oh, look at him. Oh, he got it going on. I mean, let's talk about the difference between Common, because they compared Common and they compared Lori Harvey, right? And people were saying he's the
Yeah.
stud, and
Yeah.
they're giving her this negative feedback. I don't feel as though that's right. That's not fair. It's not right.
No, I don't think it's fair, but it's reality. It's the world that we live in. That's just what it is. I don't think it's going to change. I feel like they view, this is just my opinion with the world. They view men to have multiple women and be hoochie mamas out here, and for women to be delicate and
Hoochie mamas for
homemakers
men.
and
I understand what you
yeah,
mean.
hoochie mamas. Yeah, hoochie mamas. There's yeah, and men out there be wearing hoochie mama shorts. I don't know. You might want to look that up after we get off the Miss Linda. I know you seen them. They be having them little tiny shorts on. That was the new little wave. But anyway,
With the men?
yes, they called them hoochie mama shorts, hoochie daddy shorts. I think they were called, but they were really small. But anyway, I feel as though that with women they hold us at a higher standard,
Yeah.
and it is what it is. I mean, but it's like one end is not fair and one end is kind of complimentary because it's like you don't expect me to be out here spreading my goodies everywhere.
But
You know what I'm saying? Because you
yeah,
put me on a higher standard than a man that like, yeah, I know he out here just throwing it everywhere. So I
right.
I I either way, listen, it ain't what they call you, is what you answer to. So L'Oreal Harvey is out here living her best life and she do
I
not
love
care.
it. I love it that
And
she's
she
doing
will
that.
go from man to man until she find the man she wants
Yeah,
and
and
have
then
no problem and no shame. And she'll come and listen in 3 weeks, in 2 3 weeks, she'll be right back with somebody new, hand in hand. Ain't
yes,
listen, that's
because
how she
she's got
wanted.
pursuers, and her pursuers they are very seem to be very nice guys. So you haven't no one's been abusing her and all that kind of stuff like that. So she's having a
No,
good time. She's
she's
enjoying
having a good
herself.
time. I don't know how old she is, but she, I'm guessing she maybe might be around my age, or maybe a little bit younger, but or maybe around. She might be older. I don't know, but whatever the
She's
case may be,
probably your
she's out
age.
here. Okay, she's living her life. Okay, people, leave
Yeah.
her alone. Common, you had people like for them to even compare the two. Common, you got people out here shaving their heads. Okay,
Shaving
so
their heads.
Tiffany Haddish shaved all her
Oh,
hair off after she left Common.
but some women do that when
Bald
they
to the
yeah.
skull, ma'am. I no, I understand a little pixie cut, like I wanna shed this and did it. But ma'am, you was bald, okay? You baldy. Just shave it all off, ma'am. Comment. Listen, I don't know what's going on, but I feel as though that something is fishy. Okay, now he done
Something's
jumped
not
over to
right.
Jennifer Hudson. Bless her soul. I hope you don't. Jesus,
But
I don't
she's
know.
single. But her
Who?
ex baby father, whoa, child.
Oh,
Yeah, but
Ortega, the wrestler.
yeah,
Yeah, and that was so sad. I was very disappointed to hear about them getting a divorce
I
and stuff like
did
that.
too. I was like,
But again, we don't know
dang.
these people's real life. Like we know what they put on TV. So who
We
knows
don't
what
really know,
happened?
but he seemed like a real swell guy. That's what I'm throwing out there. Mm.
Yeah,
And of
yeah.
course, we love Jennifer. There's no doubt
Yes, I
about that.
like
We love
Jennifer.
Jennifer.
So
But
hope.
when you see relationships that only last for 2 to 3 years, it's like, what are you doing to keep it stimulating, keeping it vibrant, keeping it alive? You know what I mean? And if you're doing the same thing over and over again, of course you're gonna get tired of each other. You gotta
I don't even think
you
it's that.
gotta
I think they're
swoop it
not.
up.
I don't think that's that. I think when you're not ready to be in a committed relationship, it don't matter who you with. You ain't ready.
Yeah, but
So
if
you're
you're
gonna
in a
find any
I'm talking
reason.
about for those I'm talking about for those that are in a committed relationship, they have committed themselves to each other and they're in a relationship. If you do
Mm.
not keep your relationship alive and healthy and vibrant, if you're doing the same thing over and over again, it's
Yeah,
like,
but what if that other person is into some stuff that you ain't into?
then
Now
you
you
need to
didn't.
find that out before you commit.
No, that's not all. What people change. What does they say? Every 7 years, people figure out they
Every
change.
day.
Well, yes, every day, but mentally, it's kind of like you shed. You know,
That's true. And
mentally,
you
you
can
go
go in
through changes.
the
Yeah, so
opposite
now all of
direction.
a sudden you want all this type of stuff, sir, ma'am.
Then
No.
that's the moment that you have to evaluate your relationship and appraise your relationship and find out, are we in the same direction? And if you're not, then you depart happy. I mean, for me, I had a happy divorce. My divorce was not sad. You know what I mean? Because we had an understanding that we were not compatible any longer. You know what I'm saying? But also at the same time, when you're growing differently, you're growing in different direction,
Yeah.
you don't stay in a relationship and continue to make each other miserable. That's not
No,
healthy.
no, that's not what I'm
Mentally,
saying.
physically, it's not healthy.
I'm not saying that either. But what I'm saying is that a lot of people get married for the clout, for the pictures, for the bachelor party, the bridesmaid
For
party,
the
the blah
wedding,
blah
yes,
blah,
of
and all that
course.
other type stuff, and don't get married for the marriage. And
Yeah.
that's why it is not lasting. You have to know the person that you're dealing with. You have to see them in seasons. I don't know
But
if
you
you
made
told
a
me
good
this. I
point
don't.
though. If you both are maturing in a different direction, it's going to go in a different direction. Some couples be together for 50 years and then all of a sudden the wife wants a divorce or the husband wants a divorce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not because they don't love each other. They may not be in love with each other anymore. And they
Mhm.
may have different perspectives of what a relationship looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that. But
And that
you know,
commitment of, being married to death do us part, that's huge.
yeah.
Because,
If
knowing
it's to
that
the wrong person, it's
that's huge.
definitely. And I do believe, like, I feel as though, like I said, that everybody changes every 7 years. But I feel as though if you are on the same page, constantly talking to your mate, saying, "Listen, I want to do this and I want to do that," and blah blah blah, and you're constantly in communication. I think communication is the biggest key to
Yeah.
anything. So if you're not expressing what you're feeling, how you're feeling, if you're down, if you're out, like you have to kind of try to be on the same page at all times. And it's very difficult, especially like for me. I'm a person that don't like to ask for help. I've never have. I've been very,
Yeah.
you know,
You got that
um
honesty.
so but I do tend to try to warm up to do certain things differently to get a different outcome type of thing. You get what I'm saying? So I feel as
Yeah.
though that if you know who you're with and you're constantly communicating, you have a good foundation, even though you may be growing, instead of you growing like this, you may not be growing still like this close together, but you're still going in the same direction.
Yeah. But
it
just
doesn't
have
have to
different
be it
ideas.
doesn't have to be y'all growing and it's all flip-floppy.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
so just so
Yeah. Linda made a
that's
good point that in the end, he was abusive to Jennifer.
Ooh,
I didn't realize that. He was
oh, I
abusive to
didn't.
Jennifer.
I mean, he is. I mean, never mind. I ain't gonna say that because not everybody that's on the WWE SmackDown is smacking down people in real life. But,
Yeah, the
um,
Bible does says that they must be equally yoked. You're absolutely correct, Linda.
mhm.
You're absolutely correct.
Oh, she also said, "Look at Kiki Palmer, OMG." Oh
Oh,
Lord.
wow. Look at Kiki Palmer.
Yeah, about the abusive part.
Well, speaking of Kiki Palmer, being that you brought that up, Linda,
Mm.
you know, is is a file restraining order enough to keep you safe?
Depends on who you are.
Depends on who
That's
you
my
are.
that's my opinion. It depends on who you are
But Linda
because
says, look at Kiki Palmer. Oh my goodness.
yeah, no, I'm saying as far as the restraining order, it depends on who you are. I feel as though there's so many women that are abused and mistreated and has a restraining order and they call the cops and the cops don't do nothing until she's on her deathbed type. Like, but if you
Yeah.
have somebody, not no shade to Kiki Palmer, but you got somebody that got money, you're
Yeah, but
treated
the
differently.
point is, if it's if a filed piece of paper, a document of an restraining order has been filed, but if the police officers don't get there in time, that paper is just
Don't mean
evidence that you
nothing.
have proof that there was a domestic relationship and there was some issues. Yeah, that's good as far as going to court, but trying to save that relationship and from what could happen, I mean, it's not enough. I think when you're in a domestic relationship, you need to go a step further to try to protect yourself. There was a recent situation where a woman, she drove to the police station and her ex was stalking her. And she drove to
Mhm.
the police station, went inside, told him that he was outside, followed her to the police station. They filed a police restraining order, but then she left. Now the police officers didn't go outside to make her arrest to try to
And
find
I
out
bet you
whether
she
he was in
wasn't
the
famous.
surrounding. Huh?
I bet you she
No,
wasn't
she
famous.
wasn't. She was a sister too. But
That's what I'm saying.
within 30 minutes, she was dead.
Mm,
You know what I'm
that's so
saying?
sad.
So
Yeah. And that's exactly what I'm saying. That's why I said it depends on who you are. I won't say
it
I
doesn't depend
guarantee.
on who you are, because even if you're famous with money, if they don't get there in time and you don't have the proper security, it's still not going to
That's
make a
what, but
difference.
that's what I'm saying. This is how I feel. This is my opinion. Kiki Palmer has a restraining order. I have a inkling or a feeling that there's cops stationed somewhere looking and watching her and making sure she's okay.
Well, see, she might be paying that expense out of her
She
own
might,
pocket.
she might not. We don't know. We don't know who, we don't know where she
Well,
lives. We
that would
don't
be a
know what type.
taxpayer's expense at that point. If they were hiring a police officer to sit outside her premises, that would be a taxpayer's expense. So she might be, paying it out of her own pocket, or she might went and, got her weapons and just be, ready just in case something go down. Only thing I'm saying is the restraining order is good, but it's still not enough. You just need to go a step further. You got to go a step further. Because if you don't go a step further, anything could happen. You can't be sitting here and just holding that piece of paper thinking that's going to be saving you.
No, no, I don't think you don't. I mean, if the person come there, to throw the paper at them, it's not going to stop them. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. My argument is that I feel as though that depending on who the person is, that's grounds of how serious they take it. You know how many black people domestic violence that don't get taken seriously and the person end up dead
Sure, all the time. We just seen
all
recently.
the time,
Yeah.
all the time. And not to say
My
that there's
condolences
no
to the
domestic
family,
violence.
to this young lady too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying that there's not count our counterparts are not being murdered at the same rate. But what I'm saying is, as far as I take it this way, I watch a lot of court shows and different things, and um they'll have the court and they'll say, yeah, well, she showed up to my house and da da da, and the cops will come and they'll be like, oh well, you just go on in there, get your stuff, and they'll leave and leave them still there together.
Well, let me say something to you. Now,
So
me myself, I've been in some dangerous situation when I was younger. Okay. I mean, I did a lot of different things, where people would call me and they'd be in a situation and I would just come and do whatever could. I was involved with a couple who was in a domestic violent relationship. She called me and I came when we should have called 911 first, right? But I did go there, and he was there. He was there, and I had to defend and protect. But it was a scary situation because anything could happen. When
Yeah,
you're in those
absolutely.
type of situations, it's dangerous. And
Absolutely.
sometimes when a third party gets involved, you're at risk. And that's
Yeah,
one
you
thing you
put
have
your
to
own life on the
realize.
line. You put your own
You're at
life on the line
risk.
for that
When
other
you
person.
enter that, you're at risk. You're now have entered into the risk zone. And are you going to be prepared? Because a restraining order may not, it's not going to be enough. It is good to have, don't get me wrong. It's good for legal reasons. But then I feel anyone that's in a situation, whether it's a man or a woman, whether the woman is being abusive, because women are abusive too.
Yeah,
And if the man is being abusive, the restraining order is not enough. You got to go a step further in case it gets out of hand. That's all I'm saying. Do it the legal way. Do it
mm-hmm.
the legal way. Now, Linda says it depends on how deranged the violator is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? Things escalate. Sometimes people don't think it's going to get out of hand, and then one thing lead to another, and then before you know it, a mistake happened.
Yeah,
So it does take place. But I definitely get what you're saying. He beat her up. He beat her up. The cops came, but still didn't arrest him. When was
exactly.
this? With Jennifer Hudson?
I think
He
that's what
beat
she's
her
talking
up. The
about.
cops
But
came, but didn't arrest him. He beat her up. I must have missed that.
and that goes to my point of depending on who you are. I feel like if you have money and you have a statue, or you know some people, and you come, say for instance, if you're in if it's a situation, it's a woman and the man is famous, or he's a cop.
Yeah, yeah, true.
What are you
I
gonna
agree.
do? You get what I'm saying? That's the part that I'm talking about. It doesn't necessarily have to be monetary richness. It could
Right.
just be knowing someone richness type of thing. Kiki Palmer's boyfriend. That's what she said. Kiki Palmer's boyfriend.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Right. Okay.
And and his brother is actually battling for I think child custody with his ex. And I think domestic violence was involved with their relationship. So it may be a family, allegedly, a family passed down of the beating of the woman. And it's ridiculous. And for him not to be arrested, who do you know?
Yeah.
You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, because Ray Ray's
Wow.
getting arrested. Ray Ray is going to jail. Ray Ray
Right.
and the girl may be going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no
Yeah.
questions asked. There's no I forgot, it was something that I was watching, and it was like the cops came, and because the person was famous, they went and talked to them first, and they're the
Oh,
one being
right.
accused.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He talked to them first.
He the cop showed up. The man was famous, and he just beat his wife.
Wow.
And they went over to talk to him first, talking about some, are you okay?
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Because he's famous.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's, and it's sad, but that's what I was talking about as far as who you are, who you know.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
makes a big difference. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of.
She said, Miss Linda said there were photos, and he broke into her home. Wow.
Wait a minute, there was photos?
She said there were photos and he broke into her home.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's crazy.
I must have missed that one. I didn't know that. Well, I'm sure, we
Well,
don't know.
the document that I had seen, I think it was on Hollywood Unlocked, if I'm not mistaken. It was something to the effects of she did the restraining order because he got angry while he was changing the baby, and she intervened because she was scared for the baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I had. The last thing I had read recently.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, I tell you what, shout out to Jennifer Hudson and David. Just hoping that I'm sure they're good now. They have a beautiful
Mhm.
son.
Yes,
Definitely
they
have a
do.
beautiful son.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to another topic, I think, for us. I want to just touch base on Black women empowers Black men, and then this happens. Well, you want to know what I mean? Oftentimes, I guess it was, what is the gentleman's name that goes with Jenny Ma?
Jeannie, my Young Jeezy.
Young Jeezy. Young
Mm-hmm.
Jeezy did, I guess, a documentary with Nia Long recently.
Mm-hmm.
And in that document, he made a statement. And I really, to be honest, I really don't think he meant what most people are reading from his statement. He indicated that Black men need their Black women when they're down. And of course, women went crazy over that statement. Like, are you kidding me? What about when you up? Well, we know the majority of times, not all the times, but most times, when the Black man is up, sometimes they would go and get a Caucasian or another one, a different ethnic woman other than the Black sister. And
Mm-hmm.
so the Black women are tired, and this is what is being stated amongst a lot of Black women. And some of the women, please make your comments, but they're stating they're tired of picking the man up when he falls, and then when he gets back on his feet, he turns his back on us.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What's your theory on that?
So here's my theory. I watched the interview and now I feel differently about him. A lot
You
of things
feel
that he was
differently
saying.
about him?
Yes, I always like listen, I was young Jeezy. I had all his albums, okay? I knew all the words to all his songs. Okay, you could not tell me that I didn't know any of his songs or whatever. So I used to get all his
I definitely got
albums.
mad respect for him. I like him a lot.
Yeah, no, I still respect him. I respect what he does for his community, all of that. But
Hmm.
the dialogue that he had between Nia Long and himself, it was just like not the blame game, but it's just like no accountability. It's like, well, what in the like I they still didn't really get to the root of why they got a divorce, right? He still was kind of beating to me. He still was kind of beating around the bush.
I
He
think he
said,
released something recently as to, a continuation of his reasons.
okay.
Maybe that could
Um,
be a lesson learned for many married couples. I think.
so they were going back and forth, and he just kept implying, well, not implying, he kept repeating, my black women. But you married an
Yeah, but
Asian
just
woman. Now,
because he
don't get me
married a
wrong.
Black woman doesn't mean that he doesn't. I mean, another
No, no, no,
ethnic
no, no,
group.
no, no. Okay, let me rephrase it. He kept, like you said, kept repeating that black women don't do this. And
He was saying, "I read, really? Oh,
to me, that's how it was coming off. Like I feel like he was, I won't say gaslighting per se, but it was like kind of just like, you know how somebody can talk and because they're using big words or they just try to throw you off a little bit. It's just like he's very intelligent. I give him
yes,
that. He's very
yes,
intelligent when he talks. He does not miss a beat. But I felt as though he's been through a lot throughout his childhood, right?
very
And
much
throughout his
so."
life, not taking that from him. But the accountability to say, he kept saying, I choose me first, as far as when it
Okay,
came to the marriage. That's all he kept saying. But it's just like in marriage, there's no me, it's us.
yeah,
You're yes, you're an individual, right? I'm an individual, my husband is an individual, but we're a unit. We
yeah,
married and we become one. So you saying I'm choosing me, what does that mean?
yeah,
What
yeah.
exactly? So that's the part. It was several different parts that was that was off-putting for me. But when he kept saying I had to choose me, what exactly does that mean? And you're not elaborating on what that means.
Right. He's not.
And of course, you ain't gotta tell us your business, okay?
Well,
Whatever.
no, no,
But
I disagree. When a person opens the can of worms and you open the door, now you got people curious and want to comment and make remarks and suggestions. So you can't just pick and choose what you want people to say and
but
dictate.
that's what he's doing. He's picking and choosing. And for me, I like Jeannie Mai. Some people don't like her or
I
whatever.
love Jenny Ma. I've been
They
watching
people
Jenny
some
Ma.
people don't like her because she like they was okay with her, but then when she got with Young Jesus, like, because some black
What
women
is
will
it?
say,
Jealousy?
no, it's just like some black women have I mean, we talked about this in one of the episodes. Some black women have a major problem with other black men being with
Dating outside their race.
dating outside the race, but it's okay for a black woman to do it. It's just
Right.
ironic. It's just,
Well, most ethnic groups are a lot like that. That they don't like
but that's
you to date.
ridiculous. You can't get mad at a black man for going outside his race, but then in the same token, you're patting your hands to your girlfriend because she went and got a white man. That doesn't add up to me. If you're all about the culture and keeping it black, then stand ten toes down on
I'm
all of
just
that
for
across the
love. I
board, not
don't,
picking and choosing when
look,
you want.
I'm for love. Whatever that looks like.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying people will say one thing on one hand, and but then it's okay for this side. Just like we were just talking about Lori Harvey and Common. It's okay for Common to be out here spreading his royal oats, but if Lori Harvey has 2 dates in a week, it's a oh my gosh.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. But for me, I like Jeannie Mai. And I know that her previous relationship did not work, and she got a divorce because she did not want kids, and she
yeah,
stand
that was
firm.
very interesting.
She stand firm on not wanting kids to the point that
And
she
he
got a
wanted, and her
divorce.
ex-husband wanted children.
He wanted children, and he went and got children. Okay.
Yeah, he got
Uh,
married and got, yes.
then she got with Jeezy, and she had a baby with him. So to
Yeah,
me, it's just like for somebody, and she was with her husband, her ex-husband, for I want to say 10 years or so.
yeah. But I
Like she was
think
with
what people seen people seen the path that she was really interested in
in black men.
African.
Yeah, she loves us. Okay, she loves us some black people. Okay.
Yeah,
But what I'm saying is that for somebody to be standing so firm on not having children, right? And I mean standing firm, and then you meet somebody and they convince you,
well,
and
that
you
now you said the right word, right? So
what?
he might have convinced her.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
and you bamboozling me, sir. Like, how you gonna pregnate me and then leave me? Like, I think that I just think that was so crazy. Like, if anything, you should have wait. If you did not know if you wanted to rock with this woman, right? You got her pregnant immediately right after y'all got married. You know what I'm saying? Like
yep.
it was like that,
Honeymoon baby.
baby. It probably would they probably speeded up the wedding because she probably was pregnant before then. We don't know.
Maybe that's
But
what
what
they
I'm
said, but I
saying is
don't
that
know.
if you have somebody, I feel as though it's the same token as if you're dating somebody that's a virgin. You don't just go take somebody virginity all willy nilly if you care
The
about
men
them.
they happy. What? Are
I
you
that
kidding?
I know, but I'm saying if you care, if you're claiming that you care about this person, that's like if you meet somebody, you're a virgin, you date for 2 3 years or whatever, or however way long, and then you take their virginity and be like, thank you.
Yeah,
That just to me is just bogus. Like I feel as though that's bogus. She has a beautiful child. They have a beautiful child together, and I know
yeah.
she
The
does.
daughter's so cute.
She says she doesn't regret it at all having a
No,
child. But I watched her on the real, and she has said it time after. I don't want
but
no
she
kids.
changed her mind. See, this
She
is the thing.
changed her mind,
This
and
is the
people
thing.
are
We
allowed to
can.
listen. People
Yes,
are allowed to
come on.
change it.
We
I'm
can
not
change
saying
our
that listen.
mind.
I'm not saying that she's not allowed to change her mind, right? That's
Yeah,
not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that for it to be such a big thing that you had a whole divorce on it, maybe y'all should have waited to have a kid to make sure your relationship was going to sustain to have children. Or if you just didn't care about being with the baby daddy, then
yeah,
that it's there. Everybody don't want to be with their baby daddy. Hey, whatever.
that's
But
true.
but for her, she was head over heels for him. Okay, you could not every time you talk to her. Yes, Miss Jenkins. Okay, put some respect on my name. Like she was head over heels for him. So
Yeah.
it's just for me, and the way that the setup, as far as it seemed like she was blindsided by this, like she
Yeah,
just
they
woke
said
up.
she didn't know.
Yeah, that's bogus and that's whack. And I like you, Young Jesus, but that's whack. If you
Yeah.
watch this, whack, okay? Because you don't do that to somebody,
Yeah, but
especially
I
in the
mean,
line life.
the
No,
crazy part is that when he stated, and I still stand behind this, with a lot of women, they do have their men back and they want to lift them up and be their backbone. And then when they get on their feet, it's like they turning back. Not all men. Not all
not all
men
men.
is
No,
not this
no,
way.
no.
But there are so many of them that are that way till you kind of forget the ones that are not.
Yes,
So but my point is that when you find someone that's a good person, I think we all need to just treat people for the way that they are,
yeah,
regardless
accordingly.
of
Yes,
whether they got a lot of money, whether they don't have a lot of money. I think we all need to be treated as humans. But when you get to a point where you've made it and you don't need the person anymore and they was there for you through thick and thin, it's like a woman being married to a man and she puts a career on hold so she can help him get on his
mm,
feet. He goes to
that
college,
big.
he gets his
Yes,
career. Now he's making $200,000-300,000 a year. Now she's a housewife, which is a domestic engineer. She's not really making any income. He's a sole breadwinner, but then he goes off and gets himself a side chick.
yeah.
So I mean, these things happen. I mean, it could be vice versa
It could
because
be vice versa.
women mess up too.
Yes, the
Let's be
prime
clear.
example, the best movie for this scenario, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Okay.
Yeah.
She was with that man. He kicked her out. His behind got paralyzed. She was in
Yeah.
I know I ain't the only one that when she rolled his little behind in that tub when he was in that wheelchair and
You know
dumped him,
what? That
everybody was
scene,
cheering.
no, that
Everybody was
scene right there
excited.
was scary because I thought he was going to drown. He was paralyzed. How he going to move
It
his
was
hands?
hilarious because he drug her out
And
that
he was,
house.
that
He
was,
humiliated her,
yeah, he did.
and
That was,
because he had money and that's the thing. People get money and forget all about health. They
but see,
forget all
first of all,
about
let me
different
just say this.
things.
When you are married in a relationship, first of all, I'm going to say that was a woman who was not educated and didn't know the law, right? Because most women
Well,
is
my, it
going,
was
no,
a
you ain't
movie. It
kicking.
was like
I
it was a
know, but I'm
movie.
just saying in real
It
life,
was a movie.
I ain't going nowhere.
Listen, y'all. She about exactly, but she about to bring out the law book, y'all. It was a
I ain't going
movie,
nowhere. What you talking about?
exactly. But
But yeah, I understand this movie.
it came full circle, and she really got a chance to voice what she wasn't doing while they were married, like telling him off and all of that. But
Yeah.
then it came to a point, it was like, all right, I'm tired of beating you up. I'm over it,
Yeah.
and that's just what it is, and she moves on with her life. But you'll build somebody up, you'll help somebody and all of that, and then you get tossed on
Kick
the
to the
wayside.
curb.
Yeah, but
That's why you gotta have
I
your
feel
own
like
stuff going on.
everybody that's meant for you is meant for you.
Yeah, you gotta have your own stuff
So
going on.
that's the conclusion of that, because if they not meant for you, boo boo, I don't care what you did. Okay, I don't care if you helped them get to the NBA. You ain't gonna stay. Yeah, it's
Move
not gonna
on.
last long. Okay.
Move on. And we're gonna
Exactly.
move on to the next subject. Now,
Okay.
this is gonna be juicy right here. I mean, listen, I want to say y'all pastors, my bishops,
Uh oh.
especially ones as my clients. No, I'm not talking about y'all. Okay. This pastor here, a lot of the things that he's saying, I kind of agree. Right?
Uh oh.
When women pissed at pastor blaming women for men's bad behavior. I mean, it's a pastor that's out here. I'm going to show the clip. And this pastor basically is stating to women, when you get with these men and you know they ain't no good, they messing around, they married, they got 5 and 10 kids and not taking care of any of them. If you get with a man, he said he ain't seen his child in 4 years, but then you lay down and have a baby with them, you already know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you are influencing and encouraging these men, but you are actually supporting this bad behavior. That's basically what this pastor stating. So we kind of like want to go into this, and I want to show you just a little small clip, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit more.
Okay.
All right,
Oh
so let's
Lord.
dig in here.
Women, the state of men. You know how you say it ain't no good men? Okay, that's fine. It's your fault though.
Oh my
Yeah, I said that
God.
because you keep giving them passes when they ain't worth nothing. So if you marry them and they ain't worth nothing, why would they become anything better? I don't care. They didn't have a job, you slept with them. That's your fault. They weren't taking care of their other children, and you thought they were gonna take care of your baby? That's your. They're not gonna become better if you give them your. I ain't just. Why become better when I'm already getting what I want? Hear me, in Hollywood right now, the writers have went on strike because they ain't getting paid. You know what we need? We need women to go on.
Yeah, I need to go on strike from your video.
If you ain't got a job, if you ain't consistent, if you ain't got character, you ain't getting none. Y'all don't like that. God set this up the right way. Now, right now, it's about rings. If you want to marry, you should get a ring. Then you say, well, he ain't got to get a ring. No, see, you're cheating yourself. Because if he can't manage his money for a few months to buy you a little bitty ring, you think he gonna manage money for your legacy and your destiny and your posterity? No. Y'all let us get away with too much.
Okay, there you have it. There you have it. There you have it. So, with that being said, shout out to Tanya TKO for that video. Tanya TKO for that video. And I believe that was
Wow.
Pastor Jordan, if I'm not mistaken.
All right,
But
Pastor Jordan.
he said a mouthful.
He sure did. Now, his delivery was raw, But
How?
I mean, not. I mean, it was unfiltered. It wasn't babying. It wasn't. Maybe
So that
you
don't make it
should.
wrong.
No, I know that's not what. That's not what. Let me finish.
Okay.
I agree that same thing with the. I won't say you look at a man as a child because you don't. But
You
people,
can look at a man as a child, a man as
no.
a
But
man.
Mom, let me finish.
Okay.
When your child does not listen, and you spank them, and you let them know you ain't doing that, the same thing goes with it. Like you have to set people up to show them how to treat you and what you allow.
That's
So
right.
what you allow is what you allow, and you can't cry about it. You can't whine about it. You can't. This is what you allow. People do
That's
what
what
they
you
allow.
allow.
Now you do have people that are just bums. They just ain't gonna do nothing. And for those people, but you do have people that are trying, and if you meet somebody that's trying and they're trying to get better, because I don't believe that if you meet somebody and they now repeat offenders, right? You think about like somebody has a child and they're not taking care of their child, but you don't know the circumstances stemming around that. You don't know if the baby mama's better. You don't know several different
But that don't still stop
avenues.
you from taking care of your child. Don't realize this.
No, I
The
don't. No,
man
no,
can
no.
go to court and pay child support. He can go to
No, no,
court
no,
and
no,
pay
no,
child
no.
support
There
willingly.
is some. Listen, there are some women that are so vindictive and nasty and saying, if you don't give me this, you ain't seeing your baby. If
Of
you
course,
don't
and
do
that's when you
this, you
take him
ain't
to
seeing your
court.
baby.
The
And
man has
wait a minute, and most black men are not with the system. They're not going to be going and filing no order and all. They don't get down with the cops.
yeah.
So
But
they
see,
go
if
along
they
with it.
understood, see, this is the thing. If they understood men understood their rights more, they will
They
understand that the
don't.
system is more for them than against them. But because they're so set up to thinking psychologically that the system is against them, they have
Exactly.
this doubt and this way of thinking, saying you calling them on me. You know what I'm saying?
You
When
calling
in
the law on me,
reality,
but the reality of it is that some of them do go in there and get railroaded. And let's be real, it's people that will go and put themselves on child support and be taking care of their child 90% of the time.
what you mean
You know what I'm
90%
saying?
of the time? If you go in, they have to go according to a guideline. There's a mathematical guideline, calculated
What I'm
guideline.
saying is that women, oh, I need the baby. The baby got this. The baby got that. So outside of what you're getting a plethora of other things, and that's not being because a lot of times, not to say that anything against women and all of that other type stuff. That's not what I'm
Right?
here for. But what I am saying is that there are black men that want to be good fathers, and
Of
they are
course, a lot of
yeah,
them are
and they are
majority.
railroaded by women. They're
Yes.
the baby. You ain't seeing your baby if you ain't paying child support.
And
Well, what
that's
if he's trying and he ain't got no job? Say, for instance, he's been to jail and it's hard for him to get a job. So now
sure.
he can't see his baby because he can't give you no money. That's
That's
ridiculous.
wrong.
And there are
Totally
women
wrong.
out there like that. So I don't think that you can just take that statement of what he's saying and apply it to everything because you have to, it's a case by case. That's how I
Yeah,
feel
but
about it.
it still doesn't change the fact that women and men, because it doesn't go just for women and men. He just happened to be talking about women because it's the majority of the women be complaining about the men that are no good. But then you go and sleep with this no good man when you knew he wasn't no good when you
Oh yeah,
slept
of
with him.
course. I mean, if that case, I
That's
understand.
what he's saying.
No, I get that part, but when he's bringing into the part of if you met him and he ain't taking care of his kid, you have to dig. You have to dig into each situation. You
Yeah,
don't.
but you know
Somebody.
what? Let me say that if I meet a man and he's of a certain age and he is not taking care of his child, I need to move on from that. I'm sorry. I'm talking
So,
about
but
me.
what if the woman is the preventer and he's not? It's plenty of time. Women run away with their kids and you can't find
But
them.
that's a
Then
different.
what?
But see, of course,
But that's a case by case, right?
when you get into the
That's a case
conversation
by
and he
case.
tells you that
That's what I'm saying.
I give you a prime example, and I'm just gonna put it out there because it's raw and we talking raw. My brother David, okay, we wanted to find my little nephew. You get what I'm saying? We couldn't
Yeah,
find.
I know what you're saying. I know.
Okay, so as an example, when you don't know where a person is located, you can't do anything.
Exactly,
That's
but
a
that's
total
what I'm
different
saying.
situation
That's
than
all
if
I'm saying. You can't take a
yeah, but that
blanket
that would be
comment
something
and
that you would
apply it
speak
to
about when
everything.
you first meet the man. If you are meeting a man for the first time and he said, "Well, listen, I've been trying to locate my child,
So that's
and
on
the
the
mother
first date.
just what? Why not?"
Everybody is not telling their business on the first date to
Well, you
everybody.
know what? It depends. You don't have to say it on the first date, but eventually, if you're serious about
Yeah,
this
eventually,
person,
but the way that the pastor is relaying is like, if he do this, if he got this going on, yeah, but and then another thing, women, and don't get me wrong, I love me being a woman, but you're
yes,
asking for things that you don't even have, ma'am. Okay? You ain't
that's
got no
true.
job. Okay? You ain't got
Right,
no house. Okay? You ain't got
right.
half the things that you're
No
asking for
car,
on your
no
long list.
money.
Ain't got no money, ain't got no job. You, ma'am, you need to
Yep,
bring it down a couple notches. Okay?
yeah.
Because but that's what I'm saying. Don't put battery in people back to say, okay, well, if you ain't got this and you ain't got this, then blah 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 blah
So
blah.
you
It's the
again, so
case. It's the
you're not agreeing with the pastor said, obviously.
I agree to a certain extent. I do not
Okay.
agree that you can apply a blanket statement on everybody. You cannot do
No,
that.
that's not what he's saying. He's saying that when you find out definitely that this man is
That's
not
not what
taking
he
it,
said. He said
I'm
when,
not, I'm, but see,
but do you're interpreting
I'm
what
interpreting because for an example, you got to get into a conversation in order to know what the man or the woman is doing. Because it could be a
exactly.
woman that's not taking care of her kids, right?
Absolutely.
It could be a
Yes.
woman that the children, she haven't seen her children in months, and their children may be off with the grandmother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it don't have to just necessarily be the woman that's the one that's doing it, the man that's
Mhm.
doing it. It could be the woman too. But my point is when you have definite information about a man and you see the signs and you still
Mhm.
sleep with him. That's what he's saying. If you
Yeah,
see the
and
sign,
that
we're
part
not
I
talking
understand.
about
I
the what
agree
ifs
with.
and the
I understand that, and I agree. But it's also
okay.
to a certain degree. I do feel that people can change. Not
Yes,
everybody,
everybody can
but you have
change.
to. It's everybody. It's a case by case. If you see somebody that may not have a job, okay, why doesn't he have a job? Okay, maybe he might have been convicted before. It's just harder for him to get a job. Okay, well, have you ever tried to get your record expunged? I didn't know I can do that. Oh, well, let me show you. Now this man got a job. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's you can't just put a
But there's a lot of
blanket.
places that's high, even with a record.
I know that, but yeah, but everybody doesn't work, doesn't, it's more places now available to work that is of a different caliber than a fast food restaurant. But some people
Right.
is like, I don't want to work at nobody's Burger King and McDonald's and all that.
It
Some
don't have
people
to be
feel that
Burger
way.
King or nothing like
No,
that.
but not now. But I mean, things have gotten a lot better.
Yeah,
But
but
before that was
can we
basically where
agree
you
that this pastor has a point?
he has a point. But it's you can't put a blanket
He's
statement.
not putting a blanket, but he's talking about the women. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I'm not talking about Nick Cannon, so don't put Nick Cannon in this
Nigga.
file.
Okay.
Okay. But I'm talking about if a man says he got 12 kids, 12,
I don't want nothing for you.
but you lay
Yeah.
down and you have his 13th child.
And we talked about that. And yes, you absolutely right. You knew what you were signing up for.
That's what his point is. Don't
Okay,
complain
well, if that's
when
his
you
point, but how I received it is that it's a blanket statement. Or if he ain't got no job, you think he gonna get a job. That's not necessary. You have to dig in to see why a person
that's
doesn't have a
that's
job.
not what he's saying exactly. But if you got a man
But
that's
that's
in
what he
his
said.
okay, if you got a man that's in his 40 and he ain't working 15 years and it's nothing medically wrong,
That's not what
he's
he
not
said.
disabled.
That's not what he said. But I get what you're saying. Yes, if he's medically, if he is of sound to be able to work and he is not working for whatever reason, then that's a red flag. I
You
get
already
that.
know what it is. You already know you're gonna be sugar mama. Okay, let's dive into what Linda and the rest of our viewers are saying. Please, thank you so much for joining us. Let us know where you are joining us from. Linda said, let's face it, there are too many men not paying child support. And you know what? There's a lot of women that not paying child
Not
support
paying
too,
child
but I
support too.
totally, I totally agree with you, Linda.
Yes.
Sometimes a woman is fed up. They don't want to have anything to do with a man. That happened to me. But guess what? That's wrong if the woman is fed up, but the child ain't.
Yeah.
That's what the problem is. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one thing I can say about myself and your father's relationship in raising you. When we decided that we were no longer going to be together, I wanted to make sure that I did everything in my power to make sure that you were not affected. You were my number one person who I was caring for and wanting to make sure I protect it in the best way possible. I did not want you to feel the hurt that we were feeling.
And a lot of women do not do that. A lot of women
Yes.
use their kids as weapons.
Yeah.
They
But let
use
me
them as
finish by
weapons.
saying this.
Yeah.
Even when it was times when child support may have been an issue, I'm not going to say it wasn't, but I always made sure your father came to get you even without money. Take her to the park. I mean, do things. I don't care about the money. Just spend time, because it's time that I did not get a chance to spend with my dad. You know what I'm saying? And it never was a time when my mother said you could not be with your father. Never was that time. But my mother did not take the step to say, I'm going to make sure that you spend time with your father. It was like, if he don't want to come see you, then I ain't gonna make him come see you. That's basically,
Yeah.
but that's how older people were back
Yeah,
then.
yeah. Because
You
that's
know,
the
but
same
for
thing with
me,
my dad and his father.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
so for me, I said, I did not want that to be for you. I wanted to make sure you had an active mother and father in your life. And that's why I was very persistent and consistent in making sure that he was active, because it does make a difference. It makes a difference. Now, Linda, I do agree with you, what you're saying there. And I know probably what you're talking about. She said, I lost out and my father got away with his obligations. But not only did your father get away with his obligation, and we don't even know whether that was truly all his 100% his fault, but you was also deprived of the love from your dad. You was also deprived from the love of your dad. Some women are too proud for their own good, and the child suffers. I suffered. Yeah, I do. I totally agree with you 100%. And women got to do better. They got to stop pawning, using their child as a pawn to get to the father. It's so wrong.
And if
It's so
Lord, don't
wrong.
let him get a girlfriend. Oh, you ain't seeing
Oh, you
my baby.
really?
You ain't
Oh,
seeing my baby. You can, and it's just like, well,
yes.
it's certain things as a parent you have to take yourself out of the equation. I'm not in the situation. I don't know what it feels like. I pray for y'all. I know some friends that are going through it. It does not look like anything that is nice at all, and it can get
Yeah.
very, very ugly. But
Yeah.
always putting that child's needs first
Yeah. It's important. And that's what
over
parents
everything is
have to
it's
do.
important. Yeah,
Absolutely. As
yeah,
parents, we should
absolutely.
do that
So
more and encourage our friends. When you see your friends slipping and doing that and acting in a certain way and trying to hold the child from seeing the parent, you as a friend need to talk to your,
well, the friends I got, the women, it ain't them.
yeah,
The men is a little cuckoo for cocoa puffs.
yeah,
So
yeah, I can understand.
so that
It's
ain't
a tough call.
in. Yeah, it is. It's very, very a tough
It's a
call.
tough
So
call, but I want to say shout out to everyone who tuned in with us for another episode of Mama Said It. But I want to say, Linda, listen, my dad, he adopted you, girl. So you was definitely with the father, whether you knew it or not. Our family loves you, young lady. And I want you to know that. So you're never, ever alone. You're never, ever alone. Okay. So shout out
yes,
to Linda Anderson. I don't understand. I understand, but I don't know what you went through. I should say
yeah,
that. I don't
yeah,
know the feeling and the pain and the agony that you went through, because I know it definitely had to be a burden on you going through something like that by not knowing where your father was. But one day, you never know. We may find him after all, and we may do a segment. We need to do a segment on that for you, Linda. We need to do a segment on that for you. So thank you all so much for joining us on another episode of Mama Said It. This is episode number 23. We
yes,
appreciate you, and we're going to be here next week, same time, 6:00,
yes,
right
yes,
here on
yes.
this platform. And why don't you come and join us and be our co-host as we talk about more sizzling topics.
Topics. Yes, yes, yes.
You have anything you want to end the conversation with, Plum?
Um. I don't know. I don't even know if we're playing today. Go Giants. I don't know. That's it. And the
Love you
Sixers is
too,
on fire.
Linda.
And even though this is a Giants household, it's also a Sixers household. So yeah.
Yes. All right. Oh,
Yes, yes,
Sixers.
yes.
Okay. All right, John.
Go Sixers and Giants. That's it.
Go Eagles. We play next week. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. Come on. Mama said it. Woo. There'll be days like this. Mama said it. Woo. There'll be days like this. Mama said it. Wee. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all
All
have
right,
a
have a good
wonderful
one.
week. And may
Yes,
God be good to you.
yes,
Oh
absolutely.
Lord, they are being the whop. Okay, they're getting beat down, I guess. The Giants must be getting beat down.
Oh no. Okay.
Okay, talk to you
All right.
later.
All
Many
right, have a good
blessings.
one.
Take care.